Hello patrons, welcome to part 2 of the tutorial about Django's minor string solo from 1937. And we're gonna continue where we left off. Here is phrase number 8. 3, 4, 1. Three, four, one. This lick is based around an A minor arpeggio if you have A, C, E. Django basically plays that, but then descending with enclosures. To the C, to the A, and then we get this bend. Nowadays we would say that's a typical gypsy jazz lick for D minor, where you bend to the 11. But Django was probably the first guitar player to do that, but nowadays most gypsy jazz guitar players know that trick and use it often. It sounds great. And then we go to the next phrase. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. This phrase is basically two G-sharp diminished arpeggios, one stopping at the D, then going back and then going further than the D. The fingering I'm using is a typical Stocholo way of playing a diminished arpeggio, starting on the A string, but Django of course is not doing that. He's using his fingering system, which would be like this. But then with two fingers. But the advantage of that system is that because you have two notes per string, it's very easy to string it. But the disadvantage is that there is this jump, this awkward jump. So if you use Stocholo's system, the danger is that it can sound a little bit too legato. That's the way I'm playing it in the clip also, and it sounds fine. But if you want to get close to Django, you should make an effort to make it sound more staccato. To mimic that fingering. And then it's time for phrase number 10. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. If you're a gypsy jazz picker, there's a couple of consecutive downstrokes, and it gives me a chance to talk about how to approach passages like that. Because in the beginning you might think it's pretty difficult to play that. So you can start either up or down, then you have a down sweep, 3 downstrokes, and again a down sweep. So the way to approach it is to focus on the sweeps and play from sweep to sweep. So you start with this first sweep, you can relax your hand, then play some light downstrokes until you reach the next sweep and focus there. Now, for practicing, I would suggest that you keep your fingers down. Those two shapes, this shape and this shape. That greatly helps with focusing on the downsweeps. And then, if you want to get rid of that sound, you can let go of your fingers to get more of a staccato sound. That's how Django plays it. But I do like the sound of the shape pressed down also. And then we get a tricky lick. It feels awkward to play. That feels awkward. Bend to the F and slow bend. Django likes to bend slow and bend back before you hit the next note. That is what Django is playing on the recording. He's playing AAE, but most people would actually prefer to play just an arpeggio, C, AE. Maybe that's also what Django intended to play, but on the recording it sounds like both are fine. Let's go to the next phrase. 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. So first of all, you need the little slides up, 1, to give them some character, and then you get this. Now most people actually play this, the same motive twice. I'm doing that as well because I think it sounds a little bit better, but Django on the recording is actually playing. It's also nice, you can choose. And then most people stop there, but on the recording I hear Django play some notes after it. So in the clip I'm playing, but Django is probably playing like it says in the tab. So you can choose, you can either leave it out, so then you would get and then a stop, or you can play like I'm playing the clip, or you can play what it says in the tab. And then we get to this great chord passage in the next phrase. 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. The most important thing to know is that before each downstroke on the beat, you need to have this short ghost upstroke. So don't play. That sounds weak. You need that ghost upstroke to give it some character. And then we get this tremolo. And I get questions about tremolos ever so often. People have trouble with tremolos and they ask about the technique. But the technique is fairly simple. Just relax your hand and pretend like you're shaking out the match. But the main thing about tremolos is that it doesn't have to be that fast. How fast you can do this probably depends on your physique and maybe your experience, but it doesn't have to be fast. You can do a slow tremolo. Or fast. It really doesn't matter as long as it is consistent. So it's better to have a slow, consistent one than a fast, erratic one. So mine is, I think, medium speed. It's almost 16s. Just make it consistent and you're fine. You can do it slower or faster as long as it is consistent. Let's go to the infamous triplet lick. 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. I made 2 videos only about this lick. The first one is a long time ago and I explain how to do it like I play it in the clip. And then recently I made a short Instagram video with my alternate version. And I'm going to teach you again the alternate version. That's also the version that's in the tab. Because it's so much easier and it sounds almost the same. So you can watch the Instagram clip, but in short, it employs symmetrical fingerings for the chromatic lick down with 2 slides, so you can keep the picking alternate. So there's a slide there from the 2nd to the 1st fret. And again on the D string. So both on the B string and on the D string. So you get two sets. The first set is just 3, 2, 1, 0. And then you go to the 4th fret, 3, 2, 1, and then a slide on the 1. And again, the same thing, 3, 2, 1, 0. Go to the 4th fret, slide on the 1st finger. And if you give a slight accent on the slide, you get more definition. And then it's diminished arpeggio up. So you get 2 Ds in a row. 1 D is open, and then 1 D is fretted. But this really makes it easy, because now you can play this diminished arpeggio, which you've probably played a million times when you're a gypsy jazz guitar player, starting with a sweep, and that makes it very comfortable. And then it actually becomes, well, I don't want to say easy, but manageable, even in faster tempos. So I recommend practicing it like this. Forget about the first version. It's much more difficult, and even I mess it up from time to time. So I also switched completely to this new version. Sounds exactly the same. So that's a good hack. Let's go to the next phrase. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. This phrase is a little odd because Django bends to an F sharp, but we're on D minor. And I tried different versions. I tried bending to a G. Makes more sense, but somehow I'm so used to hearing that F sharp there in the recording, and also Django bends kind of halfway to it. It has a certain kind of charm, so I decided to keep it in. And now I changed something because I play 2 Bs, but Django is actually playing 2 Ds. He's playing... Maybe that's nicer even. Instead of... You can choose. You can either do 2 Bs or 2 Ds. So the version with 2 Bs, like in the tab, would sound like this. And the version with 2 Ds, 3, 4, The bend to the D is a pretty tough bend because we're on the D string. Usually you bend on the B string, so you have to push quite hard. If you're on an art stop, you don't have to push that hard, but on a gypsy jazz guitar, yes. And then we're gonna go to the final phrase. 3, 4, 1, 2. Three, 4, 1, 2. The final phrase is octaves, and it's the same thing as with the chords. You need this muted ghost upstroke before each octave that's on the beat. So not there, right? Because the E is on the offbeat, so that you don't do an upstroke before that one. And also not on the last one, because again, it's on offbeat. 3, 4, 1, 2. And that is the complete solo, all 4 choruses. It is not easy to play, of course, it's a Django solo, but it's also not the most difficult thing I've ever had to do. Just take it slow, take a metronome, practice very slowly, phrase by phrase. Don't try to do everything in one day. Take a month for this solo, but it will be very satisfactory after you've gained mastery over this amazing solo. And it's great to play in a gig or during a jam session. And it's just great fun to play along with Django. So work on it. I think it's one of the best things you can do when you are working on your technique, learning a Django solo, and you will enjoy being able to play that solo for the rest of your musical career. Thank you so much for being my patron. Without you, I couldn't be making all these videos, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!